my friends are heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse. All my friends are heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves.
Yeah, welcome to Secular Panthers, JSU's Fellowship of Free-Thinking, Agnostic, or otherwise secular students, where all faiths are welcome and our only sacred truth is that there are no sacred truths. So welcome everyone. Today we're going to be talking about, among other things, the graveyard of the gods, like what that's all about. Let's take a look at some celebrations that people have done around the country. We're going to talk about the Celtic and pagan origins of Halloween, how that happened.
We're going to talk about Hades.
Yes, we will. Yes, we can. We're going to have some breakout sessions so we can talk about whatever we want, which will be cool. And we're also going to talk about the Church of Satan, or the Satanic Temple. So I learned a lot about that. Like, it was started in the 60s in the United States, so we'll take a look at that and see how. We'll hear from a practicing member of the Satanic Temple. I invited a couple of student members of Secular Panthers, a pagan member as well as a member who used to participate in the Satanic Temple. Neither of them could be here tonight, so we're just going to have to do our best and take a look at some of the YouTubes, which is fine. That's cool. We'll hang out. That would have been great. I would have loved to be here. Yeah, fireside chat. It's all not burned. So I found some pictures of cats in costumes because I had to, because I thought that was really cute.
I love that.
It's too cute. That reminds me of my kitty. He's that color.
Your kitty is adorable.
Oh, this is really.
Oh, yes.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I've seen some of these before.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
You look so sharp. Like a knife.
Look at him.
Whoa.
He's like.
And Michael, can you have
Wow.
Michael,
Yes.
you have my hat?
Oh, it's in my car. Can you follow me out to the car afterwards?
Afterwards? I'll be at McWilliams actually.
Oh shit. Do you know where my car is?
Is it red?
It's red.
It's a red
And it's on the
It's red like
Actually, just as a pirate once a couple years ago for this, like,
You know, pirates are
soccer
actually
teams. I dressed up as a pirate and all that.
Yeah, I got it. It's in my car though. I didn't forget it.
Alright, cool.
Well, y'all do
I gotta change the sound of this television real fast.
I should maybe get a pirate costume.
It doesn't.
There we go.
Since
No lights.
I feel hurt.
Oh god, that's
I
loud.
feel hurt.
What are we doing today, Michael? How are we
feel
celebrating?
hurt.
We're talking about a few different
Because he
things.
hurt me.
Dang it, this is really loud. Let's turn this down a little bit.
I hope you suffer.
I have so many good stories
From this, I have so many.
You have to tell me the later.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, now that I really am not paying for it.
This room is so comfy. I like it.
Can we meet in here from now on?
We can.
Now
What's
we
the
the
semester?
It's hard to find though.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason we're in here is because we couldn't get 203. So
Because
we can
freaking UN kids. They're terrible.
Oh, that's why.
Freaking UN kids are terrible.
No, man.
Join Arab League. Arab League
Arab
sucks.
Reserve.
Arab League is great.
Yeah.
Arab League is great. I don't know
So
what
what's
you're
with
talking
this?
about.
Oh, we're also celebrating the best part of Halloween, which is animals in costumes.
Oh my god.
I thought it was candy.
I thought it was seeing people dressed as sweaty outfits.
That's not quite as good as this.
Maybe
He
it's
just
a
stays
nice
away from everybody.
Yeah, join Arab League.
They have Snickers.
That's Oh, I do have one more. This is what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Oh.
It's a pumpkin present. Hey.
You can say it's literally pumpkin spice. That cat is so spicy. No.
Yeah.
Yes.
That cat
Cats don't want to come up.
He's like, I'm in a pumpkin, whatever, get away from me.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
I
I
carved
thought
it.
this was
Oh my god, yes!
Wait, no.
the scariest thing.
Oh my god.
That's
Oh
funny.
my god.
That's good.
I thought that was like
Yeah.
1%.
Oh shit! Wait, what's that?
Oh no, my charger was acting up, so I was like, oh damn.
Let's see. Oh, okay.
Hey, Maurice.
We have something to talk about.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Yes.
Six.
And for yes. Andy, would you like to fill us in on what's going to happen?
You want to pull it up on your
I mean, I don't want to sit next to you, but
really quickly? I
Yes.
invited you.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I pulled it up on your Facebook. I created
Because
it.
where is it at?
Okay.
And I can't. I work on Friday, 11 to 7.
No.
I tried to try to make it
For next weekend, it totally did. Steve was the
No,
reason
no,
the whole kids married.
I know, I'm going. I want to grow. I'm going to
I
celebrate
meant
this
platonically.
weekend.
Okay, we are having a Halloween party at my place.
Oh god. My
So
mother's going to kill me.
it's for secular Panthers and friends, so you can invite friends. And
Oh, wait.
I set it up so on here you can just invite them on Facebook. It would be good if they
Did I tell you?
It would be good if they could like
Guys.
click that they're going, so I know how many people to make food for and stuff. But there's gonna be okay. So like pull up the event. This is cute and all, but
This is what Facebook's for.
How do you control this one?
So there's gonna be like everything. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna
I feel
have
bad
games,
for you.
costume contests, prizes, pumpkin carving, crafts,
Oh, here we
movies,
go.
dancing, whatever you want to do. There's
Oh
gonna
my
be-
god, we're going to have a
so-
rave, guys.
Rave.
No. No to whatever you're doing.
No, Maurice. Yes. Bring your DJ stuff.
Oh my god, bring your DJ stuff!
Bring that DJ stuff.
Oh my god, I'm so not ready. As long as I can cause it.
Dude,
But
I
I work
will
from
add
11 to
you on
7.
there
I have to
as
get
like
a
DJ,
costume.
whatever your name is, and make you.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
What is your DJ?
your own event.
Gumby.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Anyway,
Okay.
Gumby
there's gonna be
EXP.
lots of stuff.
God. Why?
Gumby.
It's gonna be
Molly
Friday,
just
guys.
called me.
Friday?
Friday?
Like chill and be adults for 2 seconds.
Is it wholesome?
It's gonna be Friday. It's gonna be Friday at 6 or whenever you feel like coming.
But that's my
But
gay
we'll
club
do
is-
carpool. Okay.
Please.
We'll do a carpool from downtown, from campus for people who need rides because I live in Marietta and it's like kind of far. So if you don't feel like driving yourself, we can do a carpool for sure. So comment. I put a thing up there. Comment if you need to carpool. Just like say your name or whatever. And then also here are some things that you can bring. I have like my preset budget of what I was gonna spend on the party, and I realized I spent my money and then forgot to get candy. So like maybe bring some candy.
Okay.
That's good.
All right.
Sure.
And like if you have a video game system and you want to play video games, I don't have any of that, so bring that. Just comment on there what you're gonna bring, so people don't bring like 20 of one thing. But like you can bring anything that you want. But that's kind of like what I want people to bring. And if
Okay.
you want to bring something else, just say you're bringing something else. That's fine.
I was
Yes.
gonna bring my entire PC, but then I realized I can't leave that in my car. So.
Up to you.
Yeah.
I would.
Well,
So,
I
I'm
have
trying to-
I have a PC hooked up to a TV, but I don't know if that's helpful.
I'm just saying, because my PC can handle like pretty much anything, and I've already got like a bunch of games
Yeah.
on it, so I'm like, do
But
I?
anyway, if
Well,
anybody wants to bring
are
a
they
gaming
party games or
system,
just single?
Is this a house or an apartment?
it's my house. It's a house. It's my parents' house. Yeah.
okay, cool.
Carpool leaving next day
Yeah.
after the party.
I'm going to have to figure this out.
We can figure out if people would like to crash or go home. That's fine because I have plenty of extra bedrooms where people can crash, especially if we're drinking. But if people want to go home to their own house, like I'm not gonna drink, so I'll drive people home.
Okay. So this is probably the best method of RSVP, if you, especially if you
Yeah.
have guests.
Yeah,
'Cause-
absolutely. And I set it up so you can invite your friends. So just invite your friends and have them RSVP. But we're gonna do like spaghetti and meatballs and stuff, and yeah.
I'm just thinking, how am I supposed to manage this? Because I work from 11 to 7 on Friday and Saturday. I live in Gwinnett.
11 a.m.
7 p.m. I'm
Well,
have to
you
bring my
can set
DJ.
up and we can have DJ starting at 8. Like,
Yo, that I have to get my costume. I have to get my DJ set. I have to bring all that equipment over.
Gummy EXP's gonna be there.
But do it and bring stuff that you want
Someone
to do. So
does
there's like
help me out with
there's two
that.
TVs, so we'll have one room for like scary movies and one TV for like video games, right? Do
Yeah.
people want to do that?
Oh, I was
What movies are we gonna watch?
Cabin in the
Woods.
Woods.
I don't have any
Really?
scary.
This is gonna be lit.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I don't have any scary movies. Oh, I'll put that on the list. I don't have any scary movies, so it's like I have whatever's on Netflix.
I have every scary movie.
Unless, oh, well then bring
Let
that.
me know what you want.
And bring all of it.
Personally,
Bring
I
your
prefer like
collection.
Saw and Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Basically, bring your glass driver.
No, it's gonna
Wayne
be
loves
awesome.
it.
It's like
Fit on a flash.
I have Cards Against Humanity that we can play.
Ooh.
We can do a table of Pong outside.
Table of Pong?
Beer
So
pong.
I'm like,
Oh,
I've got
okay.
I'm at 3.
I thought
I'm
Pong.
my sister's got her.
Where did I think Pong was?
Ping pong.
Pong, like the
Ping pong.
I'm trying to find
Oh,
it's
that.
harder for me to drive.
Yeah, I
Like
didn't
human
want to
cards?
advertise it on
Yeah.
there.
Drive here.
I didn't want to advertise it on there, but I am making like alcoholic beverages. Not like a lot, but there will be alcoholic
And
beverages.
just let everyone know, I will be IDing every single one who tries to drink.
Yes.
So don't even try.
Yes, totally. You know, we gotta be on the level here.
Yeah.
I will absolutely be
That
IDing.
also.
Okay.
Totally.
I'll totally be IDing.
Totally. Well, that was clear.
And like I said, I didn't want to advertise on there, but like there's bedrooms if people need to crash. That's totally fine. Or if you'd rather go home and puke in your own place, that would be great as well.
That would be better.
Alcoholic
Puke in
Yeah. So invite your friends. Tell everyone. I'm inviting my friend who's like actually really Christian, and I told her, and because she's cool with it, like she's cool with me. She knows that I'm like in this group, and she's like really Jesus-y. So it'll be really fun.
Like how we can have a serious talk and
Like she's from Cartersville.
Have you ever seen Save?
Save. Oh, that's
She's really
the,
nice though. She's like super
Yeah.
awesome.
No,
She's
I
really
wondered
cool.
if she's like- I wonder what the people
Yeah.
have.
So she's super cool with it, and like, so that'll be fun. So like, invite whoever. You can invite whoever you want to invite, because they will not be alone. They're going to be Christians. They're going to be whatever. So yay, party!
All
Okay.
right.
Absolutely.
Woo!
This is going to be great, guys. I'm really excited about
Like
this.
beyond this.
All right,
I don't know what
let's
it's either French or
stop being
Like,
distracted.
there's nothing
Yes,
like
Christianus.
heatheny about it. Like it's
It's either
just
French or
for
Spanish.
us, but.
Unless
That's pretty good. Thank you, Andy.
Look like you're
Yeah.
French accent.
Yeah, for Andy.
We gotta do one for
Yes,
Yes, we gotta do something for
And the
for
other
Newton's birthday as well.
When is it?
I mean, no one's perfect.
Yes.
Christmas.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
It's literally on Christmas.
Oh,
I can talk to my parents and see if we can host something at their house for Christmas.
I don't think
So
I
I
can
feel
do
like such a
Christmas.
college student. Like, so this is at my parents' house, by the way.
Wait,
My parents'
time out.
basement.
What are we doing on Christmas when normal people are with their families?
Not
Not fun, but like,
like
you
a
know.
party for.
Normal people.
But
Yeah.
like my parents are totally out of town for 2 weeks, so I'm
We should go
pretty
ice skating.
Also, I have intentions
Right.
to make
We should go ice skating.
little
I'm just gonna put
boxes
this
filled
out
with
there.
I would fall. on
We're
my
definitely
ass.
doing secret. I can teach you.
Okay.
secret nude.
Anyway, back to the
Hello?
meeting. So, back to the meeting.
Michael, we gotta do for
Yay!
secret for Christmas party. We have to do
Secret Santa?
Newton. No, secret Newton.
Secret,
Yes.
Oh, Secret Newton. Okay, all right.
By the way, I also have the game Secret Hitler.
Secret.
Whoa.
That's a game.
That's the only kind of Hitler I enjoy.
What about the Indian clothing
Anyway.
Hey, what's this? It seems that there's like a little break in the session. Anybody know what's going on the street out there?
Oh, I think they're taking them to the Netherworld.
Oh.
You mean right in front of the student center?
The
They ran a ticket.
Isn't that? Yeah. I think
No, it
that's
looked
what
like
it is.
it.
I was thinking crashing.
Oh, so they had a.
What was
they
the
were
like
selling
news
tickets to
cameras.
Netherworld.
Oh,
Yeah. And
Oh, wait, you mean
it
towards
sold out.
like
That's why the buses.
No, like
It's super
right out
fun. Like
there.
half of the people are Nazis, and one of them is Hitler, and the other half of the people are the good guys, America, right?
America.
And then so and nobody knows who anybody is, right? So you're trying,
Oh,
they're fascists. So you're trying to figure out who's a fascist and who's not a fascist, and
Oh
you have
my
to like
God, this
assassinate
does not
Hitler.
be political.
Right, but you don't know who anybody is, so you have to go by on the policies that we put in place. And there's like this system set up for how you enact policies, and so sometimes, even if you're not a fascist, you have to enact a fascist policy. So people will be like, oh, you're Hitler, you're a fascist, right? And then you can assassinate people, and like you assassinate somebody.
This sounds like
and
mafia.
if you assassinate Hitler, you win the game. But if Hitler gets elected into power, like after a certain point in the game, then the fascists win. So
World War II.
Hey, whoa. Let's not throw out terms such as good guys.
Okay.
Let's say World War II was a more morally
we
black
can't
and white
mention
conflict than the
dates.
first one.
So we'll.
The Trump pact?
Yeah, you can get
boy.
it. For Trump.
Oh my
Like,
God.
let's just say Trump.
You're rolling.
You know what? Sacrifice.
I don't have that. I just have Hitler.
Have to
So.
defend. Please, I don't want to get into the 2016.
Or I might be able to actually
Trump's eyes
have
look like
it
an
as
owl.
Secret
It
Hamilton.
looks like red chicken.
You guys, we gotta get started.
You know, like, we're like,
Yeah,
No,
I've got
that's
like
what
10 minutes left.
It's 6:46.
All right, get back to the meeting.
Hey, get back to the meeting.
We'll talk about this after.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
sorry.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it after. I'm
Squirrel. Squirrel.
sorry. Squirrel.
Squirrel.
What's this?
That's my dog, by the way.
Squirrel?
My dogs will be there.
Oh, yes.
And my dog is literally the dog from Up. Like,
No. Bruh.
anyway.
All right.
I'm bringing dogs.
Okay, here we go.
Yes.
All right. What is the first video? I don't know. Let's see. Oh, yeah. All right. National Geographic. What's like Halloween all about?
From communion with the dead to pumpkins and pranks, Halloween is a patchwork holiday stitched together with cultural, religious, and occult traditions that span centuries. It all began with the Celts, a people whose culture had spread across Europe more than 2,000 years ago. October 31st was the day they celebrated the end of the harvest season in a festival called Samhain. That night also marked the Celtic New Year and was considered a time between years, a magical time when the ghost of the dead walked the earth.
It was the time when the veil between death and life was supposed to be at its thinnest.
On Samhain, the villagers gathered and lit huge bonfires to drive the dead back to the spirit world and keep them away from the living. But as the Catholic Church's influence grew in Europe, it frowned on the pagan rituals like Samhain. In the 7th century, the Vatican began to merge it with a church-sanctioned holiday. So November 1st was designated All Saints' Day to honor martyrs and the deceased faithful.
Both of these holidays had to do with the afterlife and about survival after death. It was a calculated move on the part of the church to bring more people into the fold.
All Saints' Day was known then as Hallowmas. Hallowmas holy or saintly. So the translation is roughly Mass of the Saints. The night before, October 31st, was All Hallows Eve, which gradually morphed into Halloween. The holiday came to America with the wave of Irish immigrants during the potato famine of the 1840s. They brought several of their holiday customs with them, including bobbing for apples and playing tricks on neighbors, like removing gates from the front of houses. The young pranksters wore masks so they wouldn't be recognized. But over the years, the tradition of harmless tricks grew into outright vandalism.
Back in the 1930s, it really became a dangerous holiday. I mean, there was such hooliganism and vandalism. Trick-or-treating was originally a extortion. Give us candy or we'll trash your house.
Storekeepers and neighbors began giving treats or bribes to stop the tricks. Children were encouraged to travel door to door for treats as an alternative to troublemaking. By the late 30s, trick-or-treat became the holiday greeting.
I mean, it makes sense.
Thanks, National Geographic. So, yeah. I guess it started as a shakedown.
Nope.
Just give me a candy gun.
University of Wisconsin.
Yes.
So, it's interesting that last part, that last stage before it became like the trick or treat we know. My dad, when he said, he's like almost 60, when he was growing up, he said that he did the same thing. He would go to people's houses and he would try to like trick them unless they gave him treats. So he would knock on the door, give him a chance for them to answer and give them like candy. And if they didn't answer, he would like egg the window. When he was younger, so it's funny how like it goes so recent as like 1960s, 70s that that happened.
Yeah, that's crazy. Cool stuff. Oh, thanks, Danielle.
Ventilation.
I guess the that's good. That's good.
Okay, that's one way.
Oh yes, the Graveyard of Gods thing. That was kind of when we designed the flyers about, and that is a celebration, mainly like a secular holiday thing, celebrated by a lot of student groups around the country to celebrate all of the thousands upon thousands of gods that have been worshipped in the past but are no longer worshipped. Osiris is one of them. We have lots and lots. What do you guys think about doing something like this? Like maybe at the party or afterwards during the weekend, we could like make some of these dead god things and then table next week for our thing that we're doing.
It's not next week.
That would be
The
awesome.
week after, near October 31st, I guess.
Well, we have tabling registered or set up.
We just need
reserved for the entire.
I think so.
Yeah,
we
you
just
should
show
mention
up.
Yeah, we could like do even like a little like tribal and celebrate Period of the Gods.
Oh yeah.
People walking
We
by.
want to do that for
give us
Halloween?
presents.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be good.
Shinigami?
Yes.
That's it. Maybe we could all like pick our favorite god or favorite, dead spirit or something, and go from there.
Okay.
Next week's meeting.
Next week's meeting. Well, what is next week's meeting? Next week is the 27th.
Yeah. No, next week. It's November 1st.
Oh, November. Yeah.
So I thought it was in.
Wait, what were we doing?
I don't know. Because,
When we were doing yours November 8th, yeah.
yes.
So what were we gonna do next week?
Don't we want to do something with the pagan group?
Oh yeah. So I asked him if I invited them to this meeting, and Kevin said that he could not present. If he can come next week, I would love to hear his interpretation of it. That would be very cool. But yeah, his schedule did not allow for him to be here today.
Or like ever this semester.
Or schedules suck. It's terrible.
Morning classes.
Gotta adult, I guess, sometimes. But yeah, let's. This would be cool. We'll have some stuff. How should we? All right.
Will I be dressing up like Ash Ketchum most probably?
Wait, well, what?
I'll be dressing up as Ash Ketchum most probably.
All right. I have the hat.
Yeah, but what are we going to do with the tombs?
The two? We're just gonna stick them in the ground.
Oh, she.
We need permission. That's what I mean. What are we going to do with
Oh,
the
and
tombs?
the free speech area, we can just stick them down.
I don't
stick
think
things
we're
in the-
allowed to do that.
Can we move on?
Yeah.
Michael.
Yes.
We're moving on.
We're moving on. Okay.
Well, there's no point making them if there's nowhere we can put them.
We'll find somewhere to put them. With the free speech area, I know we can stick things if we want to.
Do we have to register for that area?
Maybe.
We'll figure that out. We'll do the
We'll figure it out. Yeah, let's move on.
Move on.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool, like all the different.
Discussing the details.
Yeah, let's move on. Michael.
Yes.
He's moving on.
I'm moving.
He's moving.
I like this thing. So, God Graveyard, here lie the graves of thousands of dead gods, once worshipped by entire civilizations, now only myths. Oh, here's Loki. I like that picture.
Loki.
Oh my God, it's Loki. It's literally Tom
Hiddleston.
Thank you. Yes, that's perfect. Yeah. By the way, he's in our front thing. Where's the? There he is. We got Loki and Thor, both of them, and Osiris, and Kami. Literally, God is dead.
And we got
It's yeah.
Shinigami.
Which we do have a Shinigami. Two of them. One of them was hidden in the. That's fine. So let's take a look at the student group and see what they have to say about what they did.
So Secular Students at Iowa is an organization that first provides a community to secular students on campus, and second advocates for secular values, such as the separation of church and state.
Sexy.
That's great.
Pascal's wager says that you should believe in a God because the chance that God exists and believing in him is greater than if God happens to exist and you don't believe in him, then you're going to go to hell. And it's a case of your punishment. So that wager only works when there's one God. If there's thousands of gods throughout history and throughout several cultures, it starts to fall apart. It's very hard to worship some of the 8,000 gods throughout history that we know about. My favorite is Coco Mama back here. Coco Mama is the Incan goddess of recreational drug use.
I think it's very educational. I actually just like seeing all these gods from different cultures. Also, it's really nice to kind of work towards getting rid of the stigma against being an atheist, because I feel like there's a huge stigma going around where people don't want to associate themselves with being an atheist when, in fact, a lot of times they are. So, yeah.
Yeah, so we could do something like that.
Why is that god of recreational drug use not alive anymore?
I don't know. Why didn't I know about it until like this
because
video?
of Jesus.
Because of Jesus.
Also,
Yes, that's why.
surprisingly well.
Man, Coco Mama.
Yeah.
Coco Mama. Oh my
Remember that?
God.
Yeah.
Coco Mama.
Yeah.
Surprising.
It's Iowa, man.
Yeah, no, it's Iowa. It should be.
Who goes to Iowa except white people?
Yeah, thank you. I thought this was cool. Yeah, mythology is where old gods go to die. Which, I mean, if we think about it, it's kind of like if gods aren't worshipped, we call them myths. But what about you?
Yahweh?
Yes.
All hail Yahweh.
Yeah.
You. Oh, hail.
Oh my
Yahweh.
God.
All
Right,
Yahweh.
so yes.
Oh my God.
So one of the gods that we wanted to talk about, like how do we kill gods and stuff. So let's jump right in to see how does that happen? How do we like kill a god? We just blast him with our key, apparently. Yo, Piccolo!
It's okay, kid. No sweat.
Piccolo! His pupils went away.
Hey, Piccolo, why'd you have to go do that? Now you're hurt.
Yeah, he's dying.
I'm facing into another dimension. Wish me back, okay? It's up to you. Piccolo, you can't leave us now. I don't know how to wish you back. And besides, we need your help. Oh, brother, making plans for return, huh? Too bad. 'Cause you won't get that chance.
Yeah, he will. We don't get to watch Goku kick his ass.
Large powers is fading. Somebody must be passing into another dimension.
That's Piccolo.
Go on.
The show is so charming.
It's so charming. Okay, so this is how a god dies. His name is Kami. It means God.
So his name is literally God.
Yeah, it's literally God. Also paper and also hair.
What's the matter?
But, yes.
No, don't tell me. That's right. Piccolo's power is fading. Soon we will both be in another dimension. But while Earth's Dragon Balls will be gone, another batch exists on our home planet Namek. Use them to bring us back. Kami. Oh, Kami. Please don't go.
That's it. He's dead.
Can we just agree that the abridged version is better?
Yes, I agree. I totally agree. Yeah, the
I'm
abridged
surprised we didn't
version
watch
is-
Hard Season Media.
I didn't.
Let's focus.
Let's focus. Okay, yes. So some of the gods that have been worshipped in the past are some ancient Egyptian ones. Which bonus points if anyone can name some of these gods. How about this one on the end here?
Sekhmet.
Sekhmet.
Lion goddess.
Lion. Thank you. Okay. How about her?
I want to say it's Isis.
Isis. Okay.
I
Well, obviously we have
Anubis.
Amun-Ra,
Yeah, Anubis is the one.
Anubis,
Forest is right there.
Thoth, Thoth.
No, Thoth is a
and,
bird.
Yeah, it's a bird.
That's a jackal.
No, that's a bird. That's a bird.
The
They're
middle
both
one.
birds.
No, that's Amun-Ra. Look like it.
Wait, that's Amun-Ra, but that's
This
The
is
one on the-
this is
one on the
Horus.
last four all look like
This is
birds.
Horus. This is Amun-Ra. Sun Ra.
Oh, yeah. Oh, maybe
I
that
know.
is.
I used to be really obsessed with ancient Egypt.
Someone's a professional with some of this stuff, so I felt like it was necessary to just look at some of these. So there are literally thousands, and we're not going to look at all of them.
Ishtar, I love
I
Ishtar.
thought if any of these stick it out, or if you want more
Ishtar.
info from Ishtar, okay, we'll take a look at Ishtar. Gotham, Doug.
Jehovah.
Genos was.
Oh
a
my
god,
God! Yes.
Apparently.
We got Jehovah.
Jehovah. All right.
Elah.
That's right.
That's
He's no longer worshipped. Yes.
Inky.
China has a lot of dead gods.
Chuni.
Crazy.
Get to learn my
Shen, Jiwang, Mu, Ju, Wen,
Changfei.
Chango. Man, lots of gods.
Yes. Yes.
Lots of your, I got your North gods: Loki, Mag, Ymir,
Freya,
Master Blindy.
Ooh, Frigga. That's why we have the day Friday.
Mr. Blindy.
Wait,
Mr.
Wait, what?
Mr. Blindy.
You're probably pronouncing that wrong.
Almost certainly, but
You can't speak Old Norse.
okay. I prefer that. That's I'm sticking to it.
If you're Icelandic,
Mr.
that should be our
Blindy.
smoothie.
And the Celtic gods, which
Yeah, very few people probably could.
we heard a little bit about some of these.
Ooh, where's Bridget?
Bridget is. Oh, there she is. Wait, Bridget and Bridget. Bridget. What is Bridget?
I don't know. I just looked
Oh,
Ursula of the Silver Host.
White lady,
Why
that's
should
so
be such
simple.
I love how there's one called the Hunt with the horns.
the hunt and the horns one.
I mean,
That's,
I'm not an expert in Celtic mythology. I know a little bit.
That's pretty cool.
There's two at a time.
Oh, so one of the things that they mentioned in the video that we watched was the Celtic tradition of Samhain, and it's spelled super weird. It's spelled Samhain, but it's pronounced Samhain. Or so that's what we got here.
Celtic.
You guys can take a second to look.
I think Bridget's a harvest goddess.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't remember.
Well, I never learned it, so I can't. I don't even have the luxury of remembering. It's not even there. Yeah.
You can teach me about physics.
And you can teach me about.
Things that people used to believe in.
Yes, I would want to know that, so I can know how people used to think. That's crazy. Celtic Day began and ended at sunset. That must have been nice. Just like wake up
Because
in
they
the
couldn't
sun,
tell time any other way.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
All day parties.
All day parties.
Let's not become Columbia, please.
Hey. All right. Who's this guy?
Anton Zonder
No, we were
Yes.
Who? Dr. Anton Zonder LeVay.
LeVay, yes, yeah. So this is the father of modern day Satanism. So we're gonna. Yeah, I don't know. He's got a nice shapely head.
Let's not do something stupid and that we'll regret it.
Man, yes. So he founded the church or the Satanic Temple back in 1966. So we're going to hear from a person who practices Satanism today and see what it means to her. So take what she says with a grain of salt. I imagine that there are other Satanists that don't necessarily believe as she does. Yes?
I was going to just say there are many different branches of Satanism. Mainly, there's a big divide currently between the Church of Satan and the Temple of Satan.
Really? The Satanic Temple?
Yeah, Satanic
Is
Temple,
it?
Church Satan. And a lot of people, including
Satanic
myself,
Temple.
really don't like LeVay.
Yeah.
He's basically, philosophically, he's basically just a copy clone of Ayn Rand. If anybody,
Ayn Rand?
if people are more familiar with her than him.
Objectivist.
Yeah, it's like objectivist, except more violent. There's like a quote in the Satanic Bible that says, like, if somebody disrespects you in your lair, you're supposed to slay them. And so it's a lot more like violent. It's like Ayn Rand, except more violent. And so personally, I think he's just an edgelord and awful.
Yeah, that's
So I just want to put that, if you disagree with him and the person that's about to be shown, that doesn't mean you necessarily disagree with Satanism. You can just disagree with that branch. The Satanic Temple is been described as basically the ACLU with horns. It's basically just group that almost exclusively exists for the separation of church and state. They're mainly just political, you know.
So were they at
whatever.
SSACon? Would there be a group at
Lucian
SSACon?
was there.
I have a question. Did they separate based on the name, or like, is it like, is the Satanic Temple called that just because they wanted to dissociate from church and state? Because like church is a very religious term.
Oh yeah. We'll keep going. We have a little bit to get through. So yeah, let's see what one Satanist thinks about Satanism.
Satan, Satan, Satan!
God.
Well, you asked for it, so I'm
Turn
going
it
to do
down.
it. Here are the top 5 things you need to know about
voice.
Satanism.
So loud.
As you may or may not know, I am a Satanist. No, I do not believe in a devil. No, I do not believe in a Lucifer. A Lucifer? Is that a Lucifer? Here's some frequently asked questions that most Satanists get. Number 5, Anton LaVey. Daddy! Anton LaVey is Satan Daddy. Anton LaVey founded the Church of Satan in 1966, but before that, he was just everything. At the age of 16, he dropped out of high school to become the second oboist in the San Francisco Ballet Orchestra. Then, at 17, he joined the circus to become a lion tamer. I am already so in love. Look at my hand. I'm white-knuckling it. I love him so much. He traveled with the circus playing music and taming lions, you know, the usual. But he was always seen as an outsider or a drifter. This lonerdom was key in the founding of the Church of Satan. LaVey's inherent mistrust of groupthink is a pillar of Satanism. It was at the circus that LaVey first realized how quickly people will pay for comfort. People wanted escapism. They wanted to be fooled, tricked out of their own reality. He saw the circus as the most honest form of trickery. For dishonest forms of trickery, please see Religion, Government, and Fox News. But as you may know from watching this show, once you dip your toe into the carny pond, you fall in like quicksand. After the circus, Anton LaVey studied the occult and magic and became the photographer for the SFPD in occult affairs. And then in 1966, or Satanic Year 1, Anton LaVey founded the Church of Satan. Thank you, Papa. Number 4, devil. Now to get into the frequently asked questions. Do I worship the devil? No, we don't believe in the devil. That is some Christian lore, y'all. You know that the devil is a Christian construct, right? Satan is the Latin word for adversary or opposition. So Satan works as a symbol to represent individuality and liberty, self-liberty. Basically, do what's best for your own damn life, as long as you're not hurting anybody. That is important. As long as you're not hurting anybody, do whatever you please. Satanists used to be considered atheists, but now we're considered I-theists. Because we believe I am God, I am Satan, I am everything. Number 3, rituals and sacrifices. Another frequently asked question, do Satanists perform sacrifices? No. Yes. No! No, we do not believe in a higher power that is going to come down and fix our problems. There's no such thing as praying it away in Satanism. And since we don't pray to a higher power, there is nobody to sacrifice to. Any sacrifices you hear of are not at the hands of Satanists, even if they claim to be. We don't sacrifice animals, we don't sacrifice babies, we don't sacrifice humans. Are we all clear?
Yeah. It's, what
happened to the other?
Oh, there's more of it. Do you guys have anything to add to that? Or just
more like Satanic Temple?
Yes.
I was going to say, with the whole sacrifice thing, if you actually go on the Church of Satan's website, it's actually pretty neat because it shows them doing like sacrificial stuff, but it's a show. Church of Satan tends to be very theatrical, and so they have a lot of, theatrical stuff where they'll like sacrifice a pig or something. It's mainly just meant to scare Christians and to be edgy, but they do a lot of that.
I mean, I do like this. Is kind of like 4chan before 4chan.
4chan before 4? Yeah, the original
Also, a neat
trolls.
little fact, though, is that the Church of Satan was actually the first church in the United States to accept gay people and trans people. So.
Oh, wow. Wow.
That's very good. Here we have a human sacrifice about to happen.
I love how there's like nudity everywhere.
This will be occurring at the party?
Yes.
I will be sacrificing.
Deciding on the sacrifice.
I can't just I crave the
You know,
sweet.
I can't say I'm down with that. But, you know,
I crave the sweet release of death.
The sweet release of death?
Yeah.
I thought you said sweat release of death.
Yeah. So he had some nice one-liners that
Those
I
are
thought
gonna
were.
kill me anyway.
Satanism demands study, not worship. I feel like more people should say that about regular religions instead of, just the Satanism. I'm glad that Christian parents let their children worship the devil at least one night out of the year.
Let's not go into that.
Who's this?
I know the symbol. It's like
Baphomet. Baphomet. Yep. He's the half human, half goat dude. Which goat man or human? He's got boobs.
That's your
mermaids.
I'm just genuinely asking. Yes.
Well, he is a. I mean, he does have tits, but
okay, all right. I didn't just see that.
Thing, there was actually a statue being put up in him in, I believe it's Arkansas.
It's
Oklahoma. I think it's Oklahoma because they had the Ten Commandments thing.
Yes.
And that was the Temple of Satan, not the Satanic Temple, not the Church of Satan.
I have a video of that unveiling right after this. So
and there's also some really, really cute art. If you love cutesy stuff, there are artists who made like really cute versions of Baphomet. You can like a little fluffy, go with the infidels.
I'm so disappointed I didn't find that before this meeting.
Yes. What does this mean? The two fingers with the thumb that he does in this.
Oh, I have no clue.
I see that.
Yes, Warren.
I guess it seems a little odd that they're called the Church of Satan if they don't actually believe in Satan.
Well, but they do. They worship
Let's
Satan.
talk about Scientology. Where's the science in that?
Well, okay, I'm with you on that one.
Yes.
In that case, is that the last video we were watching? Was that for the Church of Satan, or was that?
That we're about to take a look at
Church of
Baphomet, and then the next video is the Church of Satan, or the Satanic Temple putting up their. They had a party for the
But the
unveiling
last
of
one
their.
we just watched was that the Church of Satan.
Yes.
Okay, so technically that does make sense. They were saying that Satan translates into opposition, basically. So, and opposition was free thinking. So it's a church of free thinking by their definition if you translate it.
That's kind of
okay.
So yeah. So wait, I'm kind of confused by the difference. Which one is like the one that's like very Ayn Randian, and which one's not?
The Satan, Anton's on our elevate. That's the very Ayn Rand. I believe Ayn Rand actually, she may have had some role in the formation of the church. It's very similar.
So the Church of Satan, Ayn Rand.
It's very individual liberty, and then the
So right in here.
Here we go. All right.
So this is our version of extremists.
That's I suppose so.
Oh, really? I was just making my.
I need to learn more about this. But yep, that's Baphomet. That's the term originally used to describe an idol or other deity that the Knights Templar were accused of worshiping. So I guess it didn't originally mean this specific goat, sabbatic goat. I guess so since 1856. I guess this has been.
So Victorian.
So the words at the bottom, solve, coagula, separate and join together. Huh. Interesting.
Church and state.
Oh, we can take it to mean that. Sure, that's cool. So let's hear a little bit more about that. What does Baphomet mean to a Satanist?
We do, however, have rituals. Greater magic or ritual practice is an emotional purge of sorts. You may see things like hoods, or black clothing, or pentagrams. But the pageantry of ritual is a drama meant for emotional stimulation. We're not calling on demons to haunt your underwear drawer. That would be dope, though. I would do that if I could, but unfortunately, they don't exist. I always want demons in my gangs. Number 2, symbols. Despite our anti-ritual rituals and steadfast belief in essentially nothing, we do understand that symbolism is important for the human psyche. People need symbolism and repetition in order to associate big ideas. Just like when you're learning the ABCs, you learn it via song because it's easier to learn that way via just speaking the ABCs. Here are some things that other religions have projected onto Satanism. And we've kind of adopted because we like to spook it. The number of the beast, or 666. Satanists believe in the power of science, so in that regard, numbers are very important. But that is the only significance of numbers. 666 is nothing but a silly number that seems to freak people out. So we like to say it. Another example of projected symbolism is the inverted cross. The cross holds no significance for Satanists, so an upside-down cross is just a shape. I know, shocking. I saw The Exorcist too. Turns out, just a movie. Now here's something I can get behind.
Great movie, by the way.
Baphomet, who some confuse with the goat of Mendes, represents what Satanism means to me. Baphomet is the duality of man, good and evil. We are all both things, and to ignore one side of yourself makes you an incomplete person. And you'll never be happy, I promise. Just get you a religion who can do both. Number 1, the 9 satanic statements. Haha, card-carrying member. This is a card that reminds me of the 9 satanic statements that I will share with you. These are the pillars of Satanism. This is everything we believe in a nutshell. 1 should strive to act with compassion and empathy for all creatures in accordance with reason. In accordance with reason is important because that means if somebody's trying to harm you, protect yourself. Or if somebody's a dick.
Not turning my cheek.
Protect yourself. The struggle for justice is ongoing and necessary pursuit that should prevail over laws and institutions. I believe in science, justice, and empathy. And if something is threatening those 3 things, you have every right to protect yourself, protect those around you. And that is very pertinent to 2017. Protect yourselves, people. Fight against the institutions that be. One's body is inviolable, subject to one's own will alone. That means you are your own guardian, you are your own keeper. I am God. I am Satan. I am the walrus. Freedom of others should be respected, including the freedom to offend. To willfully and unjustly encroach upon that freedom of another is to forego your own. Everybody has the right to believe their own thoughts and believe their own will, even if that opposes your own. Belief should conform to our best scientific understanding of the world. We should take care never to distort scientific fact to fit our beliefs. You hear that, global warming? You hear that? People are fallible, and if we make a mistake, we should do our best to rectify it and resolve any harm that may have been caused. If you make a mistake, you can't pray away that mistake. You have to own up to the mistake and deal with the consequences. Just say you're sorry. We all went to kindergarten. Say you're sorry and sorry.
I'm sorry.
I like it. No, I like it. Collaboration. That's what Satanism is. Every tenet is a guiding principle designed to inspire nobility in action and in thought. The spirit of compassion, wisdom, and justice should always prevail over the written or spoken word. Meaning, you're a human. You live on this world. You live with other humans. Listen to each other, love each other, and understand that just because something is written or just because somebody has told you something once does not necessarily make that mean That is what Satanism means to me. By no means is this a decree from the Church of Satan itself. I'm only me and I can only speak for me. But I love it and I'm passionate about it. So if you have any questions, please comment below. Anything I didn't cover in this video, and I will do my best to direct you to the right book or article or painting or music. Y'all ever listen to Sabbath?
It's not bad.
I love her. She's nice.
Yeah,
She seems nice.
This is the first video I've ever.
If our religion teaches this, it should be a little bit.
Everyone's different. I'm like, yeah.
Why can't you teach me about other things? I would like
I would
to
listen to
I would subscribe to that.
Yeah, I need to subscribe to her channel. So that's what Satanism is to her. I really like those tenets. Like that's.
And it makes sense, and they're not written in like language that I don't understand.
Yeah, thou shalt, whatever.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Yes.
What is her name? Because I want to show her to my mom.
Oh, let's let me.
I'm sure my mom would like to project that.
It's wait a second.
Like what, you believe in Satan now?
She would totally
my
say
mom
that.
asked me like, you're like, oh.
I couldn't tell her that because my grandmother's a priest and she has
Holy water. I was like, John might have the book. You gotta call it the sacerdote.
Her name is Rachel, and her channel is called Snarled. Snarled. subscribe.
Oh, she was in a handcuffed to a Christian video on BuzzFeed.
Handcuffed to a Christian.
Oh, God,
man.
BuzzFeed.
We
Like
BuzzFeed
is
forever.
It's not.
on YouTube, so let's,
You're just saying that because you're
get lost.
No, like BuzzFeed's videos are really good.
Depends.
And also,
There's some of their commentary on race.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So in Detroit,
Some
the
of the
Satanic
commentary.
Temple decided to set up a nice statue of Baphomet. This was done in response
I would double
to
check.
the Ten Commandments that they had in the Marie's
Oh yeah, I saw a video
No,
of
like,
Glenn Beck
legit-
crying over this.
over the Satanic.
He's like, oh, God's kingdom. It was something like that. It was so funny.
It's amazing. We're gonna see people that are upset about it in just a second. So yeah, that's what it looks like. That's the statue. We have two half-naked men that are uncovering it. Let's see what that looks like. Everyone, let's watch the video of what a satanic party looks like. Yeah, well, one where you unveil a satanic statue would be great. That'd be great. God, that's loud. Holy shit. Let's turn it down. Alright. Woo!
Of course. Of course.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Don't you feel
Just
That was beautiful.
That's so that's the party. That's the
Can we see
unveiling.
some reaction?
All right, we
One more
don't
time.
need
One more
to-
time.
We can move on.
I mean, you know.
Alright, that's it. We're done. Yep, so that's what it looks like. It's not inside the state capitol. They couldn't get it inside the state capitol, but they did get the Ten Commandments removed, if I'm not mistaken.
That's enough. What matters?
That's what matters. And that's like the point of the whole thing. Like, if the Satanists can't do it, then the Christians can't do it. So thank you, Church of Satanic Temple.
It takes somebody you hate to do something that should make sense.
There you go.
Yeah.
Got making it work. The statue was unveiled earlier. Reception in Detroit, away from the Christian protesters. So what do these protesters look like? Let's hear from some of them. Let's hear from some of these guys. Okay, so yeah, Time wrote about it as well. So this is like a national thing. It got all in the news back in 2015.
Where was I going?
Man, yeah, that's it. That's the. It looks so nice with the two children. Just here's the.
Okay, that statue's pretty ugly.
I mean, no, man, I want to dress up like Baphomet
Yeah,
for Halloween.
it's just
now.
not cute.
Yeah, the big ass.
But not this
like,
Let's go.
700 people gathered in a
Oh
warehouse.
my God, no.
I would have gone.
No, yeah, if I lived in
Detroit,
I would have totally.
I was afraid of getting
great. So what?
Fox News.
Yeah, let's see what some Christian people thought of this statue, because this is Fox News. So let's see what they think.
Debut in Detroit as a group unveils a nearly 9-foot-tall satanic statue. The one-ton bronze sculpture costs more than $100,000 and features a goat head. Ticket holders were given 100 people. Or hundreds of people
Not
show up,
700
including
people.
both supporters and protesters.
700 people.
But invitees were then given a second secret address where the statue
They look good,
is
though.
actually located.
Just to get a load of some of these people.
I like that
These,
moon. Are these the protesters?
No, that's a moon.
Well, it's an event that's created a lot of buzz among local churches and Christian groups.
Oh yeah, tell us about it.
In history happening right here in Detroit. 7 Act News reporter Jane Park is live with us tonight. Jane, organizers went to great lengths to keep this a private, exclusive party. What's up?
They really did, Dave. Now, we are standing along Grand River, and the building behind me was where guests originally came, but shortly after they were let in, they were told to go to a second undisclosed location where we're to believe that party is going on right now. The Satanic Temple made it very clear it would be their members and their guests and not our cameras that will be getting a first look at this much talked about statue. The lines ran along the graffitied walls, at least 100 people eagerly waiting for what's been kept well under wraps.
It said, like an animal.
Dressed like an animal.
Upstate New York, you can see the Satanic Temple unveil a 9-foot-tall bronze statue of a goat-headed Satan.
It just seemed like it'd be a historic event.
The guests came dressed to impress. Each paid at least $25 for a ticket. Security inside was tight. No cameras or media allowed in. No cell phones and photographs allowed. The secretive nature of the event didn't prevent a few protesters from attending.
Well, if we're going to unveil the statue and show the statue, well, we're going to show the statue that beat this statue behind the scenes in reality. It's, recounting the St. John's Apocalypse, that St. Michael and his angels defeated Lucifer and his angels.
Members of the Satanic Temple who say they stand for the separation of church and state kept mum Saturday night, focused instead on showing their guests a good time. Some came out of curiosity, others just to appreciate the art. They say don't knock it just because it's not your taste.
A sculpture or a piece of art or a tribute to something that they don't understand is not necessarily going to impact their religion or their beliefs.
There was so much buzz about the night, Detroit police set up outside just to make sure the Satanists and the naysayers stayed civil.
We support anyone's First Amendment right to practice whatever religion they want or to come out and protest against it, freedom of speech. So, we're there to basically protect the rights of everyone.
In the end, the group made good on its promise to make this an exclusive event. Guests patient enough to make it through the line were prizes sent out the back door where outsiders can only imagine the real party awaits. The party, we're told, is supposed to last well beyond midnight. As for the statue, it could end up at the Arkansas State Capitol, where there is a Ten Commandments statue also planned. Live near downtown Detroit, Jane Park, 7 Action News.
Yeah, how they found this video is beyond.
Wow, that's certainly.
I mean, it's very yellowy.
Looks like
It's very yellowy.
Certainly looks like a Baphomet statue to me.
I mean, Alexis, doesn't it value the values of
This is the
Yahweh?
unveiling of a satanic statue.
Very controversial story, much of it still shrouded in mystery. Fox News' Dave Spencer joining us on that story.
Behind me is the building where ticket holders of the Satanic Temple of Detroit were told to come see an unveiling of sorts, a statue. But once they got here, they were told there is no statue here. In fact, we tried to go in and see for ourselves. We were told that our cameras were not allowed. We talked to people as they were leaving the event. They told they were merely given instructions to another location where possibly the statue was being held for its own protection. They wanted to keep that a secret. No matter where you stand on this issue, it's one that's igniting passion on both sides.
Oh, wow. The world is ending.
This demonstration
it's the God people.
Oh, I thought those were the Satanists.
Why is it that the God people are
so tuned in? God damn, that got me.
Why are the God people scary?
Honestly.
And I don't think that they should do that.
Well, too bad.
If you don't believe in God, and that's what the Satanic Temple group says, they don't believe in God. And they also say they don't believe in the devil. So why would you create an image?
Why do you care then?
This protest was held away from the unveiling site only because the Satanic Temple kept its location a secret, only known to hundreds of paid ticket holders.
I think it does add to the allure. I think some people are a little bit worried that there will be attacks. There was talk of arson from religious groups. So it's a little bit frightening and a little bit attractive at the same time.
What seems to bring this group together is a shared belief.
I thought
that Satanism was a deification of Satanism, or the devil, like kind of the Christian devil, which is totally not the case. It is more of like, only worship yourself.
And a desire to see that belief understood.
A lot of people that, in fact, are protesting out here, that they're more looking at it as there were devil worshippers, which we're not.
Some were piqued by curiosity. What is the Satanic Temple of Detroit all about?
It sounded like an interesting cultural event, and I actually looked up their beliefs on their website, and it made a lot of sense to me.
Just a few of the reasons people stood in a massive line that stretched down Warren Avenue, waiting to see a bronze gold-headed idol that weighs 1 ton and is nearly 9
Warren Street.
Warren Avenue. The incomplete version of the statue, and it looks really interesting. I'm a big fan of art and statues and big personal events like this, so I'm interested to see what it looks like.
And we were told that Detroit would just be the place where this statue is unveiled. It will not be its permanent home. In fact, it will be going to Oklahoma, where it's set to sit alongside the Ten Commandments monument that's at the state capitol there. We'll follow that development and see if that's where the deed ends up.
I mean, I would go to Oklahoma just to see that statue.
And then drive back home?
Yeah.
Turn around.
Do you have anything in Atlanta?
That's in Atlanta, like
the Bible
statue-wise.
Like the Satan, like is there any? I'd be scared.
I do think they do. There are no.
I don't believe there's an. I haven't paid too much into
it. This is Bible Belt.
I will. I'll check out meetup.com. Maybe there's something. We'll find out.
I kind of want to go to their temple.
I'm terrible about getting distracted, so I'll do that after the meeting.
Let's keep going.
So they do have a website. They've got a bunch of different celebrations and stuff. You can shop Satan as well. Yes.
Yeah, they do have an Atlanta chapter.
Yeah, they have everything from coffee mugs to hoodies, little patches you can buy. I mean, some of it's kind of cute, and so they have really nice merchandise.
I mean,
all right, let's just take a look.
Come on, Michael, we gotta kind of hurry it up.
But this is
Contribute to the religion.
too.
Michael.
Okay, all right. Let's just. Oh, hey.
Oh my! I like that mug. With the witch flying the broomstick.
Oh, and candles.
The baby
candles
sold out. Oh,
does that mean
didn't one of the chapters make an after-school program for like elementary or middle school kids because there was an after-school Bible program or religious program, and so they're like, well, then we're going to make an after-school Satanist program. And they couldn't be denied because you're allowing this religious program in your public school. Right? I think one of the chapters did that.
That's not only that, you can look at like the workbook they have online. They have like a word search, a coloring side where you like color in boxes.
Wait, Alexis, I have a question. Do they have like a Satanism version of Sunday school?
That would be great. Let's learn about science and stuff.
Let's keep going.
So there was, we got like two more clips, depending on how much time we have left, of a History Channel special that went through all of the history of Halloween, and we're not going to watch all of it because it's like
There's also one on Christmas.
And, yes, we should totally watch it.
Isn't there one on Christmas?
I bet there's a history special for everything. That would be great. So let's take a look at some of the origins, said differently, and with more production value. Turn this one up a little bit.
There's no escape. The veil between this world and the next will lift. And then all hell breaks loose. People have been scaring each other for as long as there's been life. But how long is that? Where does it come from? And why do we put on displays of jack-o'-lanterns? To indulge our darkest fears? Unlocking the secrets of Halloween means discovering how it all began, thousands of years ago. So lock the doors, dim the lights, and don't be scared as we dig up the real story of Halloween.
Yeah, he's our pun man. It gets cheesier.
How can you describe Halloween without sounding insane? Masked children come to our doors and threaten us. In return, we give them candy.
It makes sense if you think about the history.
Why do we carve faces into fruit, then light candles inside them? And why do we adorn our homes with coffins and tombstones? The truth is, we take great pleasure in scaring ourselves.
Yeah, so cool.
It's about getting outside your own skin. And I think we tolerate it because we know it's well nice.
No, those are fruit.
Well, I know my favorite fruit now.
This impulse to confront our fears of life and of death and make sport.
Yes.
It's ancient.
The edible plant structure of a mature ovary of a flowering plant usually eats raw.
We're eating ovaries? Yeah,
Yes. That's what a plant. That's what a fruit is.
Sorry, we did not have history of pumpkins in bio.
Oh no. That goes for every fruit. The flowering.
And its ancient origins go back to the old Celtic calendar. And the old Celtic tribes divided the year between a light half and a dark half. And Samhain, their ancient holiday, was a precursor to our holiday. It was the beginning of the dark half.
Thousands of years ago, the Celts, one of Europe's early tribes, celebrated their Samhain harvest festival with bonfires on the night of October 31st to welcome their new year. For ancient peoples, harvest was a matter of life and death. If crops failed, people starved. Death was always close.
It was a bit of a warning. It's going to get cold and dark. Gather together, come home, and don't send anybody out alone in the dark.
But the Celts believed there was even more to Samhain.
What marked Samhain in this transition from light to dark was that time and space became permeable, flexible. And so that spirits, not only of the dead, but of the past or of other realities, could sort of wander into our reality. And humans could wander out and get lost in the other world as well.
The veil between life and death was at its thinnest, and the living and the dead could commingle. And that's at the root of all the Halloween celebrations. Stories persist of people on Samhain night getting trapped in the other world, and of the dead appearing among the living. But the truth is, we know precious little about Samhain. We can only guess that their bonfires likely drew one familiar Halloween icon. A thing familiar, yet frightening to many. The bat.
Before there was electricity, the only way you would have seen a bat would have been by the firelight. And in fact, you probably would have seen it around the fire because bats eat insects, and insects are attracted to the light.
Bats come out at night, and nighttime was scary time. So if bats are the best and baddest part of your Halloween, you might just credit ancient people like the Celts. And they weren't the only ancient culture with creepy traditions. Others also looked to their dead.
Many cultures sort of set aside a day or a couple of days to ritually celebrate and recognize the dead. An interesting thing is you find a lot of them about the same time period, especially in agricultural societies. Because if you think about it, spring things come up out of the ground, they're very green, you harvest in the middle of the summer, and towards the fall, and when it gets towards winter, things die.
How did these ancient traditions survive into our modern era? In Western culture, they were preserved by, of all people, Christians. In a bizarre twist of history, as Christianity spread, it adopted and reimagined pagan folkways rather than try to stamp them out. This made it easier to convert pagans. A key pagan festival destined to get a Christian makeover was Lemuria, when celebrants placated the dead, culminating on May 13th.
Of all the different days that they have in the Roman calendar to celebrate the dead, it was the spookiest. So on the Lemuria, what are called the larvae, the ghosts of the departed, would come up and haunt people.
To quell the dead, pagan Romans poured milk onto their graves or offered them little cakes. But the church co-opted Lemuria in 609 AD, turning May 13th into All Saints' Day, a day to honor the most holy of dead Christians.
Setting aside this day was an attempt to Christianize this very pagan festival, and yet at the same time what it did was it kept a lot of the same themes going.
The Christianized version of Lemuria was such a success that church leaders made a decision that eventually gave rise to Halloween. They moved All Saints, or Hallows Day, to November 1st to drain the life out of pagan Samhain. Because Samhain fell on the night of October 31st, before All Hallows Day on November 1st, people started calling Samhain All Hallows Evening, the evening before All Hallows Day. This shortened into All Hallows Even, and finally into Halloween. And then, to be safe, the church went one step further, adding a holiday to honor not just saints, but everyday Christians. November 2nd became All Souls Day, a church-sanctioned holiday to honor the departed.
This is real important for Halloween because this is where Halloween gets its association with dead souls, death, and the supernatural again.
So thank the church for inspiring the creepy essentials of Halloween. But wait, there's more.
Thanks, church. There's an hour and a half more, but we don't have time to watch that. Yeah, that's so that's a basic history of Halloween, guys. Woo! Yeah. Are there any other particular aspects you guys would like to discuss?
Well, if we had more time, I like to go into like Satanism and talk about it, and there's disagreements about things specifically like, but we'll save that for another.
We need to bring the Satanist to the Bible here.
We totally should.
Or we should go to that.
Or we join
field trip.
Or for Friday night, we can discuss it Friday night at that thing that's happening at Andy's. Don't forget.
Andy's soiree. Andy's soiree. That's a great word.
It comes from French.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Cool, guys. Yeah, we're going to do a small group discussion, but we totally ran out of time.
It's 7:42.
Yeah.
I wonder if we could talk about something much more.
It's not 8 o'clock yet.
It's not 8 o'clock. Yeah. Yeah, not quite. We can stay until 8. Cool. Yeah. It's all good. Yeah. We'll play the next one. But what's that?
You're leaving?
Yes. Yeah, we gotta go.
You gotta get your hats. Your secret hats. We didn't even get to talk about Santa Muerte or like ISIS or any of the fun dead people.
ISIS. Let's pack up and head that way. Fun dead.
All my friends are heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you